So very good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all our viewers across the globe in whatever time zone, whatever region you are. We are pleased to have you with us to hear, to view, and to understand the very important and a very sweet, beautiful part of India, Northeast. So as you know that Saturdays are totally dedicated for Northeast part of India, and we try to touch different aspects of Northeast India in our webinars. Exclusively with Northeast India, we have conducted more than 100 webinars till date and on various topics, various issues under the common umbrella of big umbrella of making education relevant, education, skills, head to heart, two hands. So we have to give hands to each other, to collaborate with each other, and to make education most relevant for everyone in each and every part of India and across the globe. So in that particular series with our 1476 webinar, today evening on 5th March at 8 p.m., we are here once again to talk on development of education in Northeast India. And to talk, to discuss on to this, we have with us our advisor, sir, Mr. Tyrone D. Brass, who will be going to talk with Dr. S.K. Pradhan, who is from Teju, Arunachal Pradesh, from Indira Gandhi Government College, to discuss on this very particular topic. I would like to tell that he has written a book on this topic, Development of Education in Northeast India, which has recently published also. So this is a very important and a very interesting topic to listen to. Let's begin. But before that, I would like to show a few slides of ICSI, and then we'll straight away goes to Mr. Tyrone D. Brass and to Dr. S.K. Pradhanji. So ICSI is a link between India and overseas. More than 31 million overseas Indian together. We are making education relevant and touching different aspects of education and the entire thing which is covered in education ecosystem. Our key focus is service industry and key sectors of service industry, and education is one of the important sector of services. And we are proud that way back in 1994, ICSI has established India's first finishing school network for personality development, personality enhancement, skills development, and we cover many skills, not just the soft skills and the technical skills, but also life management, life empowering skills. And we have trained more than 52,000 youth and 35 to service industry finishing school for global families. And special dedication for Northeast youth from different arena, from different zone across the Northeast region, and with all the 8 states. And we are proud to say that government has planned the skills development very well for Indian youth, and they have created sector skill council. There are more than 30, there are around 37 sector skill council in India, which is providing skills development courses in different sectors and in different subjects. So you can choose and you can get your skills enhanced, reskill, upskill concept, and do choose that. And 2020, we have dedicated for teachers and youth empowerment towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, and we believe that each and every component of service industry can contribute towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, whether it is research, whether it is skills, competencies, health, wellness, MSME, technology, research, whatnot. So everything, when we club together, can contribute towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. And during pandemic, we want to say this, that the physical part of finishing school has gone digital and now it is inspirational lab. So in the pandemic, during pandemic, we have converted our physical finishing school into inspirational lab, and still with a motto of providing skills to each and every youth and making education relevant. Not just not just with the Indian experts, but with the global wisdom, confidence to make education relevant. And these are the things that we are providing in our inspirational lab. Ultimately, education should be relevant when we provide it with happiness and excitement, curiosity, and different kind of skills. And there is no price tag for mental happiness. Every education should be relevant to day-to-day life. And our action plan is combining all three major aspects: education, skills, and MSME, entrepreneurship, and employment. This is what our action plan is. And as I have told in the beginning that we are doing our webinars from Monday to Sunday, and our regular viewers knows about it. But for them, those who have joined today, I want to tell that on every Sunday at 9:30 a.m., you all are welcome to watch this webinar live from USA on holistic leadership, Vidya se Adhyatma Vidya ki Or. Do listen to it and you will definitely find a change in yourself, in your thinking pattern, and in your life habits. And afterwards, tomorrow, we'll also discuss on film tourism. And every Sunday at 8 p.m., we bring NRIs from across the globe and talk about Indian education and skills. And on Monday, nowadays, we have started a series of human library wherein experts came to our platform and discussed their life story to get motivation, so that youth can get motivation and inspiration from their life. And these days we are covering the life story of eminent defense officers. And I'm proud to say this, that on this Monday, General Ved Prakash Malik and Mrs. Ranjana Malik ji, they are coming to tell their story as our story, Hamari Kahani, empowering educators and youth. To do join on Monday, 8 p.m. Then we are planning, because Tuesday is Women's Day, so there's an international virtual conference specially dedicated to Women's Day, 8 March. And in the later half of this month, you will also watch International Conference on Water Management on 20th March 2022. Also, we are planning in April the first North India Film Tourism Festival. So these are few of our future planned programs. We want to inform you about it so that you can schedule your things accordingly and watch. And always remember that whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Our WhatsApp number is there. Our email ID is there. Do write your suggestions to us, that they are very much valuable, and whatever changes you are finding, that is due to your suggestions and improvements that are coming today, tomorrow, and in future as well. So this is our YouTube channel, do watch it. And now I'm straight away going to Mr. Tyrone D. Bras to talk with Dr. S.K. Pradhanji on development of education in Northeast India. And I'm just stopping to share my slide. So welcome both the dignitaries, and I now hand over the platform to Mr. Tyrone D. Bras. Good evening, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. Good evening. Dr. Ma'am Chitra, thank you so much for that lovely introduction about Dr. S.K. Pradhan and the work of the ICSI, which gives name. Thank you, Ma'am Chitra. I'd like to welcome Dr. Pradhan, who is a professor at the Indira Gandhi Government College, Tezu in Arunachal Pradesh. an alumnus of Utkal University, Cuttack in Orissa, who has got 18 years teaching experience and an author of 10 books. He's been involved in the curriculum development, evaluation and assessment, the most important human rights education, education and vocational guidance, educational psychology, educational philosophy, education technology. Welcome, Dr. Pradhan. Doctor? Hello, doctor.
So your mic is muted, Dr.
No.
Pradhan ji.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. I'm sorry. So, thank you very much, Chitra Kapoor, madam. Thank you very much, Mr. T.D. Brass, sir, advisor, ICSI, Education, Northeast India. Of course, sir is not there, the Director General of ICSI, Major Dr. Gulshan Sharma, sir, for giving me the chance and this opportunity to interact with a galaxy of intellectuals. So, at the very outset, I should, why I have taken this particular topic, development of education in Northeast India. As you all know, that education is one of the important factors of human development. And Northeast India, as everyone knows, is the the seven sisters. Northeast India are the seven sisters: Arunchal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura, and also there is one brother, Sikkim, which are 8 states located in northeastern corner of the country and command special importance to India from different point of view, not only because of their location, but also because of their cultural and historical uniqueness. The landscape, the range of communities, and geographical and ecological diversity make these states quite different from other parts of the country. They are known as 8 siblings and sometimes refers to as 8 sisters as well. The northeastern states cover an area of 2,63,179 square kilometers approximately, with 8% of the country's total geographical area and house around 3.76% of the total population of the country. The Himalayan ranges and the Patkai Naga hills, along with the Brahmaputra Barak river systems and valley plains, create majestic beauty for this northeastern region. But if we peep into the history of development of education in India, basically Northeast India, then we find that we can divide it into 4 important segments, starting from development of education during the ancient Indian period, development of education during the medieval, education period, then development of education during the British rule, and finally, development of education in the post-independence era. If we find out the development of education of Northeast India from the ancient period, then we can find that education was mostly dominated by religion. It was basically the Indo-Aryans who have come and they have started their Sanskritized education system, which is found from the Arunchal rock inscriptions of Surendra Burman in the 5th century AD. Then if we move on, then the formal education was first introduced by the Indo-Aryans with the Vedic system of learning. There were 2 systems of education prevalent during the ancient educational period. One is the Gurukul system or the Indian education system, and the other one is the hereditary system of education, which is being found. So if we analyze the ancient period, then we can find the entire region was part of Assam, or traditionally it was called as Ahom during the Ahom dynasty. There were different dynasties which has ruled this particular area, northeast. But if we look at the education system, then we can find that in ancient Assam, or better to say in ancient Kamrupa, the Indo-Aryan language-speaking zone, along with the Vedic system of education, was prevalent. We found it from the literary sources that the ancient education and the curriculum, as prescribed by the Dharma Sutras, were also followed in the Kamrupas. Instructions were imparted generally through a twofold process. One is under the Gurukul system, from the Upanayan ceremony to that of the Samavartan ceremony. The pupil studied at the house of the teacher and carried on his academic life according to the code of conduct prescribed by the Dharma Sutras. Similarly, the curriculum which was practiced during those days, it also includes Vedas, ancillary branches of philosophy, and also tantric learning. This is found from Devi Kamakhya temple, which is the center of tantric education. So Tantra Vidya, Ayurveda, Jyotisa, astrology, art and craft were also taught during the ancient education system. But if we move on to the medieval India, because the ancient India and medieval Northeast India, they are almost merged into one another. But during the medieval India, formal or institutional education of different branches of learning was generally imparted in the tolls, chatuspadis, and pathsalas by the gurus or the adhyapaks in the medieval Assam. When I talk about the medieval Assam, those who know the history, they do know there was the system of pikes and khel. Pike system was there. It was in vogue, and this pike system, everybody knows what is that pike system or the khel system during the Ahom dynasty. So this pike system is one of the important ways of learning, which is a tradition of learning the different kinds of arts, and members of which were usually settled in the same locality, but it had no formal curriculum. The formal education was generally imparted in tolls and pathsalas. Later on, with the Satra institution being created by Sriman Shankar Dev, the Satra institution and its village wing, Namghar, served as a media of mass education during the medieval period. The Vaishnavite Satras were patronized by kings for maintaining schools for teaching the boys of the disciples and devotees of Vaishnavite system. Moreover, apart from the Sanskrit language, literature, grammar, smriti, dharmasastra, Vedanta, Mimamsa, Nyaya, astrology, astronomy, arithmetic, all these things were being taught in ancient and medieval Assam. Leaving the ancient and medieval Assam, we are moving on to the colonial period of the British Raj. Actually, the system of formal education was introduced by the Christian missionaries, especially after the Treaty of Andavo, after the first Anglo-Burmese war being fought, and the Treaty of Andavo was undertaken on 24th of February 1826, whereby Assam come into British for the first time. And the work of various Christian missionaries in the Northeast region is well documented and is well known, especially after colonial rule. So it was the Treaty of Andavo in 1826 in particular, and later on, Mr. David Scott, the first, Mr. David Scott, who was the first administrative officer of East India Company in Assam, he was the first agent in the East India Company who took interest in the promotion of the indigenous system of imparting education. by means of establishing number of schools during his tenure from 1802 to 1831. I'm sorry, 1802 to 1831. He actually established 11 schools, out of which one of the important school later on being established, the Cotton Collegiate School in 1834, which is the first school of Northeast India, entire Northeast India. So credit goes to Mr. David Scott for having this British system of education, better to say English system of education or the modern system of education that we have. Credit also goes to many of the Christian missionaries. The Christian missionaries include the American Baptist missions, the Dutch Baptists, and the Roman Catholics in spreading education in Northeast India, especially in parts of Lusai Hills, that is Mizoram, and also in parts of, that is Meghalaya, and also Manipur, Tripura, Nagaland, all areas. So basically, to quote this, we can say that after Mr. David Scott, there are many people like, we can take the example of Reverend Nathan Brown, who for the first time in the year 1846, right, for the first time, the first newspaper of the state of Assam, Arunchal, was published by Mr. Reverend Nathan Brown. Then Reverend Oliver Cutter was also one of the important person who has actually modernized this education system. Mills Bronson in the year 1867 developed the first Assamese dictionary in Assamese and English. So the chief contribution of the Christian missionaries in the field of education was absolutely highly eulogized, like starting of the charity schools, establishment of printing press, importance on the development of vernacular languages, education of the orphans, printing and publication of the textbooks, publication of newspapers, translation of books to Assamese language, etc., etc. So credit goes to these people, basically the Christian missionaries. Similarly, educational development in Manipur was started in 1837 at Langthabal by Captain Gordon, the political agent of Manipur. Because if we look at the administrative setup of Northeast India, we can find there were actually 3 states, apart from the 7 states and one small state, that is Sikkim. The 7 sisters are actually 3 till 1947. One is Assam, second one is Manipur, and the third one is Tripura. So these are the 3 states actually we are having till 1947. So in Manipur, in the year 1837, the first school was started by Captain Gordon, the political agent of Manipur. Firstly introduced their westernized system of education. However, he could not be successful. Again, in 1872, a vernacular school was established for the first time in Manipur on the suggestion of the political agent, Major General W.F. Nathal, with the support of Bengal government. Because at that particular time, it was actually the administrative setup was being governed from Bengal province. The entire Northeast is being governed from Bengal province. Only political agents are being appointed. If we see, then as far as Tripura is concerned, we can find the Tripura District Gazetteers that in the year 1862, in Tripura, for the first time, a step towards modern education was taken by establishing a school at Agartala. Development in Tripura was far from satisfactory in early part of the colonial rule. However, after 1862, right, education was started in Tripura as well. So if we move on, then after independence, I am just cutting short. There are many things to tell also. During the medieval India, actually, I have missed one particular point, that the Tawang monastery in Arunachal Pradesh, Buddhist education was also do spread in Arunachal Pradesh, that is the upper part of Assam. It was during 1680 to 1681, the Tawang monastery, the largest monastery in India, started by 5th Dalai Lama during that particular medieval period. I have missed that particular point. That is why I have repeated once again. Sorry for that. Then moving on to the educational development in Northeast India after independence. If we go through that, then we can find state after state. We can go by state. Number one is Assam. After independence, the basic education was accepted as the national pattern of education at the elementary level, because Mahatma Gandhi has started the basic education of the Bunyadi Shiksha. So the government of Assam also accepted the basic education as its future pattern of elementary education and passed the Assam Basic Education Act 1954. Later on, the Assam Elementary Education Act 1962 was passed to make provisions for the management and control of elementary education and to provide for free and compulsory education in Assam in gradual stages. Later on, a separate Directorate of Elementary Education was constituted in Assam under the provision of the Assam Act of 1977. That is called as Assam Elementary Education Provincialized Rules 1977. So at present, if we find the first college of the state and the first college of the state of Assam and Northeast India in the field of higher education was the Cotton College, which was established on 27th May 1901 at Guwahati and was affiliated to Calcutta University. The first university of the Northeastern region was the Guwahati University, which was established in 1947. So as per the data of AISSG, that is All India Survey on Higher Education, by 2019, in the state of Assam, there were 22 universities, 544 colleges providing higher education. Secondary education and higher education in the state has been expanded significantly. Moving on to Manipur, the American Baptist missionaries were the first to spread modern education in English in Manipur using the Roman script. So the first formal school was established in the year 1897, although it was started very quickly in the year 1837, but the formal school was started in the year 1897 on 10th of February at Ukhrul. It was the first school in the hills. The efforts of the successors helped to convert most of the hill inhabitants to Christianity. By 1936, there were altogether as many as 60 schools in Manipur, and the first college of the state was Dhamanjari College, Imphal, was established in the year 1946 in Imphal, and the first university of the state, Manipur University, was established in the year 1980. According to the AISSG 2019, there were 6 universities, 92 colleges providing higher education in Manipur. The Look-East policy of the Indian government and Act-East policy later on after 2014 of the central government have been instrumental in the development of education in the state. Moving on to Tripura, which is also known as Kirat Desh. It is a small hilly state in the northeastern region, India. Before it was, merged into India, it was a princely state. On 15th of October 1949, Tripura joined the Indian Union, and from that time onwards, Tripura made a remarkable improvement in the field of education. As per the 2011 census, Tripura is having a total literacy of 87.75%, and after independence, educationally, Tripura has advanced significantly. The first college, Maharaja Bir Bikram College at Agartala, was established in the year 1947. Tripura as a state has shown remarkable achievement, and the first ever university of the state, Tripura University, was established in the year 1987. According to AISSG 2019, the state of Tripura is having 4 universities and 52 colleges providing higher education. That is the report of All India Survey on Higher Education. Meghalaya. Meghalaya, as we all know, is a Sanskrit word which means the abode of clouds. The state with its capital at Shillong, located at an elevated range of 4,908 feet above the sea level. During the colonial period, Shillong was described as the Scotland of the East and selected as the provincial capital of Assam for its scenic beauty and pleasant climate. The state of Meghalaya was formed on 21st January 1972 and was carved out of the state of Assam. The history of formal education in Meghalaya has been a recent one, commencing with the formulation of a Khasi alphabet in 1842 by Reverend Thomas Jones, a Welsh missionary. Similarly, for the Garo Hills, a Garo alphabet was evolved in the year 1902 by American missionaries using the Roman script. Thus, the Christian missionaries were the first to start modern education in the Khasi, Jaintia, and the Garo Hills. The first college, St. Edmund's College, Shillong, was established in Shillong in the year 1924 by the Christian Brothers of Ireland. The first university of the state was established on 19 July 1973 at Shillong, named as Northeastern Hills University. So far, in Meghalaya, as per AISHE 2019, there were 10 universities, 63 colleges in the state of Meghalaya providing higher education. Moving on to Arunachal Pradesh, the state where I am working and the state where our Director General Sir has worked way back in 1973. Arunachal Pradesh, the land of rising sun, is situated in the extreme northeastern corner of India. It is practically the gateway of the Indian Union from the east. It has become a union territory on 10th of January 1972. Before that, it was known as the Northeast Frontier Agency, NEFA. And on 20th February 1987, the government of India has given a full-fledged status to Arunachal Pradesh, and it was accorded on 20 February 1987 statehood. In Arunachal Pradesh, if we look at the education system, then we can find during the medieval system, there was a system of education which is Buddhist education, especially the Buddhist monastery at Tawang can be taken as one of the historical monument. However, as far as the official records are concerned, the first school in the state was established in the year 1918 at Pasighat, and the second school was established in the year 1922 at Dambuk. So these were the two official schools as per the official record of the government before independence. So till 1947, Arunachal was having only two schools. However, the first college of the state was established on 4th of July 1964, the present Jawaharlal Nehru College, Pasighat. And the first university of the state is the present Rajiv Gandhi Central University, which was established in the year 1984, 4th of February. As per the DHT, that is Directorate of Higher and Technical Education report 2020, the Arunachal Pradesh state is having 18 government degree colleges and 12 universities. Mizoram, previously known as the Lusai Hills, is one of the hilly states of India and which having its capital at Aizawl. The formal education in the state was started in the year 1894 by two British Christian missionaries at Aizawl. Later on, the first higher education institute, Pachunga University College, was established in the year 1958. And the first University of Mizoram was established in the year 2001, the Mizoram Central University. As per the AISHE 2019, Mizoram is having 3 universities, 32 colleges providing higher education. Nagaland is a small hilly state and is the 16th state of the Indian Union. It is situated in the northeastern part of India. The State of Nagaland Act 1962 converted the Naga Hills Tuensang area into a separate state, and the new state called Nagaland was officially inaugurated with a colorful function held at Kohima on December 1, 1963 by the then President of India, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. With an impressive literacy rate of 79.55%, Nagaland stands at the 15th place in India. in the ancient past, there is no record of teaching and learning of any script and opening of any formal school. However, the American Baptist missionaries first introduced formal education and learning of the of formal educational institution in Nagaland. A beginning of modern education was attempted by River Mills Bronson, the first American missionary to the Nagas, landed at Namsang, a Naga village, in 1839. It is believed to have settled the first school of the Nagas, 1839, at the Namsang village. So later on, the first college of the state, Fazil Ali College, a higher educational institution located at Mokokchung, Nagaland, inaugurated on 8th of September 1959. Fazil Ali College is the oldest college in Nagaland. The first university of the state, Nagaland University at Kohima, was established in the year 1989. So according to the AISHE 2019, Nagaland is having 5 universities and 67 colleges providing higher education. So if we look at the 7 states and their educational development, we find there are different problems, and there are different problems because of number of reasons. So these reasons are, I am telling one by one. These reasons are, number one, that this reason, when we are coming to the Northeast India, we are coming via Chicken Snake or the famous Siliguri corridor. So when we are coming via this Chicken Snake, gradually this is cut off from the mainland India, because that is the only region to come via either railway or roadways. If we are taking airways, it's fine. But as far as most of the people are coming via railways and roadways. So the diversity of the Northeast India and these problems, like the problem of regional isolation, because it is a fact that northeastern states remained isolated from the mainland Indian education system due to a long-term isolation. Most of the time, government of India after independence ignored the overall development of the region and education sector as well. We can say that the education sector has actually begun after the Luke East policy was declared in the year 1991. But that was not to develop Northeast India from educational sector. But the real development has come after the donor ministry was created by the then NDA government by the late Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Then one of the important problem of this particular region is because of the lack of information and communication technology. Of course, today we have. However, if we look at the quantum of development of information and communication technology in rest of India, we can find that we are still below. We are not in terms of the mainland India, we are far behind. So the rapid explosion of information and communication technology, right, has made life faster throughout the world. However, in Northeast India, we are far behind. Further, there is problem of speedy communication bottlenecks because of the topographical and geographical locations. However, in recent times, the opening of the Dhola Sadia Bridge, the opening of other bridges, and the creation of road and communication has actually increased the access to education. Then there are other problems as well. Northeast has become a place of insurgency. Previously it was believed. However, now it is fine, but it was a place of insurgency if we identify the history. But overall, we can say Northeast India is a beautiful region whereby educational development depends on lots of things, like the kind of political developments, especially at the center and at the state as well, and the kind of policies being taken by the central government from time to time. I can cite one example. The Act East policy of the government, right, is absolutely beneficial for the entire Northeast. Because of that, number of universities, colleges have been have been increased in the last decade, we can say. in the last 10 years, if we have a critical analysis, then in the last 10 years, actually, in education sector, the development is much more than the previous even 50 years, or better to say 60 years. So it is because of the regional isolation. So the claim is not bad because history tells the same. However, we should not be pessimistic. As an educationist, as a man of education, we should always be optimistic, because our region is having the rich cultural heritage. Our region is having linguistic diversity. Our region is having different diversities in terms of ethnic groups. But still, then we are gradually developing ourselves in the mainland, with the mainland India, and all, of course with the world as well. So in my concluding part, because time is very short, it is 8:42 already. So I have given only 45 minutes to speak. So in my concluding part, I can say that because when we are looking from outside, we have a different dimension of Northeast India. But not those who have come, and those who are working in Northeast India, or those who are looking outside Northeast India, their dimension has to be changed. This part of the world is a beautiful part, not only because of its majestic beauties, not only because of its hilly region, not only because of snow-peaked mountains, but also because of the love and affection of the people, because of the innocence and developmental attitude of the people. So if the government will give priority for the development of different schools under the RTE Act, or better to say now the Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, right? Under Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, if number of schools are to be improved, the quality are to be improved, and the colleges are to be established, universities are to be established, then different kinds of technical institutions are to be established in this particular region, then definitely education will develop a lot. So we should always be positive and optimistic. Thank you very much for giving me the chance, Madam Kapoor, Chitra Kapoor, and T.D. Brass, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you, Dr. Pradhan, for that elaborate report on education in the Northeast, starting right from ancient India times to post-independence. A wonderful report, which I think we all must read about it. One of the big advantages the Northeast states do have is the use of, so wherever you may have gone in the Northeast, be it from Sikkim or all the way to Arunachal and down into Tripura and Meghalaya, English is an important language. And
Yes.
we need to keep that going, because that gives us the edge.
Yes.
So wherever
Yes.
the Northeast people have gone from the Northeast to other parts of India or even to the world, having the know of English is given them that edge in many parts of India and even abroad.
Yes.
Would you like to say something about that?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Of course, you are absolutely right, sir. Because English is the language actually that can be spoken very well by our people, basically Northeast Indian people. Really, learning of this English language has helped a lot to interact with other people. Of course, our physical structure are different. People identify from the physical structure because of the Mongoloid stock. However, because of the language, the mastery of the language, our Northeast people are really highly eulogized in different aspects. I can cite one of the example. You will be knowing that the professor from Nehu, I am forgetting the name, who was also the chairman of the National Human Rights Commission, right? Then Professor Lingdo, there is a Lingdo committee. So there are many people who are from Northeast. Even our former Chief Justice of India is also from Northeast India. Because we could be able to speak, because we could be, there are many. Mary Kam is from Northeast India. Lavlina Borgohain is from Northeast India. So whether it is Olympics, whether it is literary activities, why we forget the name of Assamese, क्या नाम है उनका नाम से जो सेतु हुआ है, and that Dhola Sadia Bridge is named after, yes, famous, I'm forgetting the name. Sorry. Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, doctor.
Yes. So there are many people from Northeast India. If I cite the examples from Northeast India and especially Arunachal Pradesh, we can find YD Thongchip, S.C. Dorji Thongchi, the Sahitya Academy winner, right? Tine Mena Madam, the first Arunachali lady girl, having Mount Everest को चढ़ने वाला जो है पहला, Tine Mena Madam. So there are many personalities. Mamang Dai Madam. There were many personalities from Northeast India who are highly, respected, are in a dignified position because of the English language. And you are absolutely true that mastery of the English language has given an edge to the Northeast people throughout India and throughout the world. Thank you, sir.
That's right, doctor. That's right. In the past, let's say past 10, 15 years, there's been a lot of effort being made in the Northeast states to improve education, and there is a marked improvement in education in all Northeast states, which yes, I think is a wonderful thing. Maybe yes, in fact, Mizoram is leading the way with the high literacy yes, rate. They are almost as good as Kerala. Yes, and Tripura is soon after that. Yeah. So it's just a matter of time when the Northeast states, the literacy percentage rates will be very, very high, maybe even competing with Kerala. So yes, it's wonderful to see such development being made in the field of education. And with education comes about a transformation of life, which happens. Yes. So we are looking forward to that. And hopefully in another few more years, the Northeast states will be as good as any other state in the entire country. Your report this evening is fantastic, and we must read it. Thank you, Ma'am Chitra, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am very much there, and I'm listening to your conversation and what sir has told. It's really inspiring.
Would you like to add a comment or two?
Sir, after your inputs that you have given, I don't think that there's something to be added on. But if you give me a minute, I would like to ask Dr. Pradhan that, sir, the book that you have written is really informative, and I would recommend it to everyone that they should read this to know more about Northeast, because in this 45 minutes, whatever you have covered is tremendously informative. But one query that I have is that your book is dedicated to 7 sisters, or it is for the complete Northeastern 8 states. So it is, do we have covered the Sikkim part also in the book, or it is totally dedicated to 7 sisters?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your question. But unfortunately, I have left Sikkim because for that, I'm trying for a single book, Development of Education in Sikkim. I have covered only development of education in Northeast India, the traditional 7 sisters. The right, one brother has been left out, actually. Sorry for that.
Nahi sir, bilkul, you need not to say sorry. And in fact, Tyrone sir has also added to the information that you have given for the states. This is a piece of very valuable thing that Assam, Manipur, Tripura, and all the states that you have covered. It is just a query from my side. So you have educated me that it will be separately covered. So that is fantastic one. So I may humbly request Tyrone sir to give a vote of thanks, and then we can wind up this session for today.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Pradhan, I think I'm fortunate to have been being the host for this evening's function, this evening event, where I have learned myself so much more about the Northeast and about part of Arunachal Pradesh. Your information is spot on, and I'm looking forward to your book on education development in Sikkim. I wonder how long would that take to be out, Doctor?
I'm working on that, sir. I'm working on that. It may come in 2022,
Yes.
maybe the end of 2022, because it requires lots of research. Because when you have historical facts and
That's
all
right.
these things, it needs lots of research. Thank you, sir.
That's right. Right, Doctor. Anyway, thank you so much, Dr. Pradhan. It was lovely listening to you this evening. Thank you and good night. Good night, Ma'am Chitra.
Good night, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. It's my pleasure. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Namaskar, everyone. Good night.
Oh, it was my